Good day to everyone. I'm interior designer Miki Shiu from the College of Fine Arts and Design of the Pontifical and Royal University of Santo Tomas. I'm here today to share my presentation on titled Play Connect, Fostering Engagement and Learning Through Interactive Education in the New Normal. The past few years had been a challenge and opportunity at the same time for every stakeholders in the educational sector. Quick advancements and usable educational tools, technologies had paved way for more innovation in the teaching and learning strategies. There had been many adjustments and need of flexibility in ever-changing educational environment. Thus, creativity also played a role, a big part in education for it to continue flourishing during the trying times. During the onset of the COVID 19 pandemic, all schools and institutions were forced to shift their instruction method to online, prompting isolation and uncertainty for the students. It had resulted to social awkwardness, most especially for the incoming freshman students in this time. As before, they are familiar with their previous classmates and environment, but they are now starting their new journey in the university. It's a new environment, a new set of classmates, unlike their primary and secondary education years. Also, with the introduction of new programs and course topics, students found themselves in an unfamiliar territory. Helping the students to assimilate with the new environment and be able to grasp new concept of learning the curves is one of the aim of this study. One teaching strategy that would help this aspect and be able to foster engagement in learning is introducing or incorporating interactive learning in class. By integrating activities that develops collaboration and communication amongst the students in a fun way of learning new concepts. It helps encourage the students to socially engage and be more interested in learning the course topics at the same time helps scaffold the learning formatively. In this quote about play or games by Herman Nerula, the best games promotes growth, curiosities, problem solving, teamwork, and creativity. So it is um a quote from his book, The Virtual Society. So he had also mentioned that games and play reward ingenuity, as game celebrates both outcomes and process. In such, incorporating game concept does not have age limit, and as everyone can also benefit from it. So, with that quote in mind, the idea of interactive learning is one avenue to incorporate play game concept within the course curriculum. As interactive learning is a hands on, real world process of relaying information in classrooms, students are invited to actually participate in this conversation through technology or through group exercises in class. Interactive learning sharpens critical skills, which are fundamental to the development of analytical reasoning. It also teaches students how to collaborate and work successfully in groups, an indispensable skills as workplaces have more team-based structure. Thus, if we relate interactive learning in the learning pyramid, as we see in the left side of our presentation, it can be rated from 30% to 90% of the learning retention rate. As the students collaborate with one another, they can also practice and teach one another at the same time, learning in a more fun and engaging way. So through interactive learning in this course plans can be in the form of a formative assessment or it can also be a review activity like a pre or post session activity to scaffold the lecture of the day for students to be able to apply their new learnings and evaluate whether they understood the new concept of the lecture. Designing the interactive activity can be easy as maybe a 10 items multiple choice questions from them to answer in their classmates and can be through a certain platform like if you're on in your online class you can actually have a poll like you can use the poll and have them answer the question. So or maybe in Kahoot you can also utilize Kahoot in that way. And also, it can be also such as a simple presentation, like what I did here in our slide. I actually did a somewhat similar to a board game. So if you're familiar with it, it is actually like a snake and ladder board game, but with a twist. I added some questions on each of the boxes in the snake and ladder board game, and per box it actually relate to one question. So the class are actually divided into certain groups in this activity, and they would actually have this character as their icon, like the animal character, and they would actually answer each of the item. So online learning platforms like online classroom can actually be used for this one. Be as complex as redesigning known parlor games or board games to digital format using any word processing software. For this one, I actually used G Slides for this one. So it is actually a very fun activity. Another great thing to design is simulation activities. In my case, I'm teaching interior design 1, creating a floor plan simulation activity. Using PowerPoint or Google Slide, then open a share setting to editor for the students who collaborate with each other, so on and so forth. So actually, I have here some of my activities from my interior design 1 course, and they are actually collaborating with some activities such as scaling some furniture or creating swatchboard or material board, or can also scaling a floor plan as well, and can you can also do as simple as matching some items within the activity. Recently, some of the activities were adjusted for on-site activities so that the students can interact more personally in class. With our hybrid mode of learning and teaching, in which we meet our students on-site every other week for our department in our college, on the weeks that is the online, I align my lectures mostly online so that when on-site week comes, it will solely be concentrated on on-site activities or formative activities for the students to do other than their plate works for their course. So as we see here, I prepared extras. So actually, the activity was initially an online activity. Then I um more or less made it an alternative to on-site activity, printed them out, created some of the prompts and the answers, and they actually enjoyed it and were able to interact and engage with their classmates in doing this activity. Another activity, they are practicing the use of the architectural scale. It's a very vital skill that they need to learn in our course. So by it is an activity in scaling a living room. Then another activity that you can actually see is for them creating a bubble diagram and as well as a user profile. So these are example of technical concept activities that is very hard to comprehend if we just lecture it to them and discuss it with them without them doing any demonstration or activity for it. It is actually very difficult for them to understand. So it is better for them to have a short quick activity for them to comprehend the concept easily by doing. I made sure that the activities would contain easy to complicated questions or prompts for them to answer, just the right amount of challenge and be able to boost their confidence, even if some of their answers are wrong. So at least at the end of the day, they still are able to learn about it. Our students love and crave to be challenged, and they enjoy competing with their peers. Thus, these activities somehow help release their competitive instinct, which makes the activity much more fun. Also, one of the advantage of having a hybrid classroom is that it can also be an avenue introducing new apps and tools that can be used to help in their schoolworks. For example, in this activity, on familiarizing with color contrast for the advanced color studies, in what I teach with another year is the second year. This activity involves matching the given images to its correct type of color contrast and extracting the given color from the image given using Adobe Color website. So I introduced to them the Adobe Color websites wherein they can actually um upload the actual file, then extract the colors from them, and from there, getting the hex code of those color, then apply it on the Google slide wherein the activity was actually done. So it's actually a very quick and easy activity. It's mostly the students are the ones working on them. So, in this presentation are some feedbacks that I got from my students about my course and in teaching strategies. They mainly highlighted that they do appreciate the group activities before the start of another lessons or modules, as it helps them review their previous knowledge. Also, that activities are fun and interactive. That they enjoyed it more than they are working with their peers and with the activities, and that they do look forward for our every session as they are anticipating on the next fun activity. Their excitement is actually evident whenever we start our class, most especially on site session. I can actually see their excitement, their very giddy expression whenever I start the class. So, in conclusion, interactive activity learning can be used as a formative and scaffolding tool for learning to further enhance their learning and even retool our students to new technologies. It helps foster interaction and collaborations among students and teachers as they can discuss amongst themselves as well as teach each other on the concept that they are learning, which helps with the learning retention rate to go higher. Also, that we are a social being as well. Thus, even students really crave social interaction in our classroom. Lastly, it can be in any form or format. In any tools or materials, can as long as it is fun and playful, your only limitation is your imagination and creativity. For as long as you achieve, it is free. It is a free form tool that you can actually use from a simple to a more complex design for the interactive activity. Thus, incorporating activity learning can make learning through play possible. With this, thank you very much, AMPS, for this opportunity to share my teaching practice. Thank you, everyone, for listening and have a good day.